Hey everybody, welcome to Roanscast. Been a couple of weeks, but we are back on track and wanted to start off with a little bit of Friday information. I was listening to a podcast earlier, big surprise, and they were talking about this, so I figured I would regurgitate this because some of you might find this interesting. Amazon is broadcasting this Friday's game. It's not usual that they have Friday games, and this Forbes episode, I'm not going to go through the whole thing, but the Forbes article talks about different ways that Amazon is monetizing it. They paid $11 billion for the Thursday night broadcasts for 11 seasons in 2021 at $58.8 million per cost per game. It's a pretty hefty price tag. For this Black Friday game, they paid $100 million for the rights, and they've made a few different bets. They've got different audience-based creative advertising, I guess, where they're showing different ads to different people, and they're taking advantage of that through Amazon Prime. And another thing I found interesting was they're betting on the Prime memberships through signups. Said that the Thursday night football game, Amazon boasted it had the biggest 3 hours of signups ever. So that's kind of cool. That's why we're getting a Friday game anyway. It's not a stinky game, but whatever. And that ties into the Sports Broadcasting Act of 1961. This act was a method to this. So basically, they said that the NFL violated antitrust laws, and the court ruled that pooling of rights by all the teams to conclude an exclusive contract between the league and CBS was illegal. Down to the other interesting part of that, the act withdrew antitrust immunity for any football telecast if a high school or college game was being played within 75 miles of the broadcasting station on Friday and Saturday's games from the second Friday in September until the second Saturday in December. This provision, intended to protect high school and football college attendance, has the effect of barring national broadcasts of NFL games on those days, since virtually all of the country is within 75 miles of at least one high school game on every Friday night in September and October. So, a little bit of football information, a little bit of history. I'm going to move on to Week 11 in review. Missed week 10 on to week 11. It's a pretty poor performance for a lot of us, including me. There was quite a few games over 100. Chris, congratulations for taking me down. Moves us to an even 5-6 record. Coleman, congratulations on barely edging out Evan to go up to the lead spot at 8-3. Nate barely edges out Ian, go up to an even 6-5 as well for both you guys. Darian is trying to go for a playoff spot, taking down Drew. Andrew loses to Mark Rodos. Good job, Mark, coming out of nowhere. And we've got Ross losing to Butler last week. I'm not going to go into those games because I don't find them interesting. They've already happened. Let's look at the playoff picture, though. Okay. Anytime you want to stop that. Awesome. Go back. Okay. So playoff picture looking like. Got some points for, points against. I think everybody knows that we do the last place with points for. This looks like Evan is favorited at this point to take the point spot and most likely be taking it away from whoever's out of out of Nate, Ian, and Darian. So we got quite the points battle heating up. Chris, if he can pull off another couple wins, could be in the hunt as well. He's got the next highest points behind Darian, and looks like everybody else is pretty safely in the top 5. So it looks like it's between Darian, Evan, and Chris, and also Butler to some extent to see who can get that sweet 6th spot. Good luck, everybody. Let's move on to everybody's favorite segment, Be Clowned. I'll be handing out clownies. First, for a failure to tank, Cheese, you get 1 clownie. Keeps winning despite his best efforts. I think I need to change my strategy moving forward to attempting to lose and therefore winning. Good job, Chris. Another clownie for losing to Mark Rodos and coming up for losing to Mark. Andrew, you get a clownie as well. And because I haven't really singled out many you guys this season, you all get a clownie. Ian, Evan, Darian, and Butler. Congratulations. You've earned it by not being on here enough. I'm not actually going to do locks this week. We're going to skip that. Moving on to everyone's favorite segment, Retire Ross. More tire facts. Fact number 9. South Carolina leads the nation in production and export of tires. Produce approximately 110,000 tires per day. And the success is mostly attributed to Michelin and other tire industry leaders. South Carolina's diverse tire industry now also includes Bridgestone, Continental, Giddy, and Trelleborg, which I assume is some Scottish bog creature that's made of tires that haunts Ross's nightmares, which makes sense to me. Moving on, we've got a birthday. Happy birthday to Ted Bundy. That's right. Infamous Burlington, Vermont serial killer. In honor of Ted Bundy, I have some Ted Bundy facts for all of you guys. Ted Bundy killed over 30 women between 1974 and 1978. He admitted to killing 30, but reports show that he may have killed at least 90 to 100 women throughout those years. So that's a fact, we think. Ted Bundy offered to help the FBI. After he got convicted, Bundy helped the police catch Gary Ridgway, also known as the Green River Killer. Bundy advised the investigators to wait for the killer to return to a fresh grave, as he will most likely visit the place again. More interestingly, he inspired the movie 1991 Silence of the Lambs. Also found interesting, a witness in Ted Bundy's trials fell in love with him. Carol Ann Boone was a witness to the trials of Ted Bundy. They met as co-workers in Washington, but they developed feelings for each other during the trials. With that, Bundy asked Carol. And Bundy also he represented himself in court, because that's what you do when you're a serial killer. He asked Carol Ann to marry him while she was standing as a witness, and Bundy defended himself as his own lawyer. Surprisingly, Boone said yes, and she gave birth to their daughter just over a year after Bundy was sentenced to death. So, that's dark. Moving on to today in history. On this day in history, the hijacking of the Northwest Orient Airline 305, the infamous case of D.B. Cooper, considered to be one of the only unsolved hijacking cases in American history. Demands $200,000 in cash and parachutes were fulfilled at the Seattle airport. He released the passengers, refueled the plane, and asked to be flown to Mexico. On his way, he parachuted out, never to be found. And that's the story. Hope you guys are enjoying the Friday Stinkfest game between Miami and New York. I will see you guys on Sunday, and I hope you have a great weekend.